All right, good evening, and I don't know if we're still not on. We're still not on. Okay, so apparently StreamYard has decided that it's not going to work anymore. It's funny how I really emphasize the fact that we're the least professional show on YouTube, and now, all right, let me see here. Hold on, let me see.
Yeah, we're on
we're on Facebook.
Facebook, yeah,
but it doesn't happen. It doesn't work with YouTube for some reason. Well, we're gonna try to.
Thanks for the heads up, Susan.
All right, deleted the last one. Okay, it does say we're live. It does say we're
live now. We're live.
All right, we're live. Sorry about that, folks. I don't know what happened.
It's YouTube. They're on you.
YouTube hates me. YouTube hates me. They really, really hate me. But we're back. All right. It's the evening time there in America. It's the morning time here where I am. And I kind of look like hell, I feel like, because woo. Okay, when you have a video that kind of goes viral, everybody in the world wants to talk to you. Like all at once, and they want you to do shows and to do interviews, and they just want your time, and they want and you're just constantly inundated with messages and everything. So it's been a kind of a crazy few days, almost a week now. Actually, it's like 5 days since I posted that video, and yeah, it's just nonstop. And so because I'm literally 12 hours away from the East Coast of America, I'm in Bali in Indonesia. Jason Whitlock interviewed me. Yeah, that was great. That was a lot of fun. On Blaze, love the Blaze, love the guys over at the Blaze. I've been on Newsmax like about 1,000 times. There was actually one interview that I had that I got up for, I got prepared for. I got everything set up, ready to go, turned the camera on, and then Donald Trump had a speech that went late, so I got bumped. By bumped, that means that I didn't end up doing the interview. So, but stuff like that happens, but it's like the problem is that here I'm 12 hours away from East Coast time in America. That means that if it's like I have a 1 o'clock interview in America, that means I have a 1 a.m. interview here. So I have to like be ready to go at 1 a.m., which means I probably didn't sleep. And then like Natalie Winter, I was on what is it? What's that show called? I literally just said it. War Room, that Steve Bannon show, War Room, hosted by my friend Natalie Winters. And that was 5 a.m. So like last night I had a thing at like 11 p.m. and then I had one at 5 a.m. And I tried to get a little bit of sleep in there, but I didn't get much. And I actually had traveled somewhere. I had so many interviews that I had forgotten that I had an interview last night. And I was kind of trying to work it out. I hadn't like written down the details on my phone properly or whatever, and I was kind of far out and I couldn't get back to the apartment in time, so I had to do the interview on my phone in some random guy's car. I was like, I got to do this interview in America. Does somebody have a quiet space for me? And he's like, you could go into this Russian guy. He's like, you can go into my car. It's fun. Here's keys. I'm like, oh, thanks. So I am a wreck.
This is important. You need to do this. You need to get out there and say your thing.
Yes, I don't know who you are, but you are handsome. You go do car. Yeah, no, he was a cool guy, and yeah, it was a nice it was a nice night. But oh my gosh, just everything's it's been too much. But this video that I did, right? This what do you call it? Like a parody video, really struck a nerve. And we talked about it last week. And my buddy Jason here wrote me. He was like, dude, you just single-handedly ended Kamala Harris's campaign, which was a great thing to write because, at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about, right? The reason that we're doing these jokes and stuff like that, I mean, it's a bit of fun. It's a bit of entertainment. Obviously I want to make a little bit of money off of it. That's why I'm doing it. Well, that's why I pick certain things, right? It's because you want to make money off them. But also the primary goal for all of it, like the whole reason I do this job is to try to shift the culture a little bit in a way that I think is positive, right? And part of that means keeping people out of office like Kamala Harris, right? And we've always said, like, if we can get enough votes in 2024, we think we can beat the cheat. And that's something we've been, I've been saying on my show for a long time, or at least we hope we can beat the cheat. I don't know if Jason agrees with me that it's possible.
I'm trying to be optimistic, but
optimistic. Yeah. Well, there's a lot of hype around Kamala Harris right now, but that hype might be unfounded. And I'm going to get into why a little bit on the show. And Teresa Hogan writes, get rid of her. Yeah, I think that needs to happen. But anyway, so I think we got a few people in the chat, so we can start going with the news stories here. Jason, do you have any personal news that you would like to share with the rest of us?
I'll probably be off a little today because I'm still sick. I'm terribly sick. I'm weak and tired, and so
yeah, he's had like this weird, annoying cold forever. Yeah. I had this a little while ago. It is strange how long these dumb ailments can last. Like little insignificant things can.
Yeah, and it just exhausts you. And I also got news from the doctor. I don't know if I should be saying this, but I got news from the doctor about I have Hashimoto's thyroid issues. So I have like a high thyroid count issue, and so that also, when you're sick, it also doubles the impact of the exhaustion and tired.
Oh, is that true? I didn't know that.
Yeah. It makes me really weak and tired and exhausted. So, and I just got news I have to higher my dosage. But yeah, guys.
Dame, hold on, Jason. Dame Piglet just referred to you as my sidekick. Yes, he is my sidekick. I love that.
I'm just for saying that, I'm gonna have to start my own channel and do my own thing. I can't be anybody's sidekick.
What the hell is that? Yeah, no, he's not exactly my sidekick.
I'm proud to be Mr. Reagan's sidekick. It's an honor. It's an honor, actually.
He's not a sidekick. He's the co-host of the Toxic Masculinity podcast, as we say, the least professional live stream here on YouTube. All right, well, let's get into the news.
But I was saying, because I want to let people know, because I know people suffer from this. I'm gonna start. I have to change my diet. I have to change the way my lifestyle. I have to, because this you can solve this issue. I've been reading a lot, so it's the way you eat, exercise, your stress levels. So yeah, I'll keep you guys informed.
Talk about on the show.
I know people suffer from that, so I'll keep people informed on how I'm going.
Yeah, I would like to hear about it, but also just general health. I always talk about it on the show. Like, this is something that I started talking about during COVID. Like when COVID came out and they started talking about this vaccine, and my brother's wife, who's a nurse, told me originally, like when the vaccine was first being developed, she goes, this is not actually like a normal vaccine. This is being developed in a little bit of a weird and different way. And I said, okay, well, why are they then marketing it as a vaccine? That seems like disingenuous, right?
Yeah.
So I started looking into it, and because of the show that I have and because of the research I have to do, I was like, well, I don't think you need this vaccine unless you're very old or very fat. That seemed to be the case. Like if you're very overweight, or if you suffer from autoimmune diseases. I do have actually an autoimmune issue, but it isn't such that it would actually impact me with the virus or anything. So I was like,
the thyroid thing is an autoimmune disease.
Yeah, not all autoimmune diseases are such that the virus will actually cause, But anyway, so I was like, okay, I will. I'll just get like healthier, because I was like a little bit, I was a little bit fat. I used to be a little bit fat. Oh, Stefka is in the chat. Stefka. Jason, Chris knows somebody who knows about Hashimoto a lot. Ask him. Yes, Stefka. Nice to see you in the chat, Stefka. Let's see here. So I'll tell you who that is later, Jason, privately.
Okay.
But anyway, she lives kind of close to you, actually. So, anyway, what was I talking about?
About the COVID doesn't affect.
Yeah. So I was like, you know what I'm going to do? Instead of taking the vaccine, I'm just going to get on a like a bike, like an exercise bike. So I got that. What's the fancy one? The fancy exercise bike. that everybody was getting during COVID.
Yeah, the Peloton.
Yeah. So I got a Peloton, and I started doing that every day, and I lost a lot of weight, and I got really fit. And it just occurred to me, like, the pharmaceutical companies want you to want to sell you treatments for things, right? And once they sell you a treatment, you're kind of trapped by the pharmaceutical companies, because, like, I was getting infusions into my arm, which means I would have to go to my doctor's office, and they would get these, and they would pin me, and they would have me sit there for 2 hours, and you feel kind of like you can't. I mean, you can obviously get a different doctor, they can still do the same thing anywhere in the world, but it just feels like, especially with the way the medical system is in America, you kind of feel trapped, like you can't leave, you can't go anywhere, you can't do anything. Being healthy is so freeing. It's like the ultimate freeing thing. Yep. Whether that be not being beholden to the pharmaceutical companies, not having to go to particular hospitals, not having to, you kind of do get trapped in the system. If you have ailments, you have particular sicknesses, you feel like you can't just go live your life. So I've always been a huge proponent of being as fit as humanly possible. And that's also actually why I used to go to Hawaii. I used to go to Hawaii because I felt like it was a place where I could do more physical activity than I could in Los Angeles. People think like, oh, Los Angeles is this fitness mecca. Kind of, but like you can't take a walk outside. You know what I mean? And now that I'm like living in Bali, I mean, I'm not want to say I'm living here, but I've been here for a while. Like I've been here for like 6 months now. This also is a place where, you can easily be fit. So I think geography helps. The kind of people that you're around helps and stuff like that. But yeah, fitness and health are fundamental. And, junk food. I have a problem with junk food because I'll be editing a video. Like when I started working again, like if I start working really hardcore on my show, I can work for literally like 24 hours straight just sitting at my desk. And I cannot do that unless I'm feeding myself in some way. And what you want to do when you're working a lot of times on the computer is just eat carbs because they're easy and quick and it's like snacky, It's not healthy. It's not good for you. You got to get outside. You got to you got to move, and you've got to eat as healthy a food as you can. And that means just normal meals like they used to do 50 years ago. That's how I look at it. Yeah. But anyway, let's get into the news stories. I don't know. You want to comment on that real quick with the thyroid and everything?
No, yeah. It's funny because when they put me on the medication, I was so disappointed because I've never been on medication in my life, Mm-hmm. And when they put me on, I felt so disappointed. But let's see. I'm gonna try diet. I'm gonna try exercise, diet, and try to get my stress levels down. So this election's not helping, Chris. This election's not helping. Yeah, I know. The doctor told me that the Hashimoto's is like your mental state really affects that. Mm-hmm. So I got to get on top of that.
All right. Well, Dame Piglet tried to clarify what she was saying. She says, Jason, I meant to say Chris is your sidekick. That's hilarious.
Dame Piglet, $2 ain't gonna cut it. I still don't. I still resent it.
You're still on his bad side. You're still on his bad side. Okay, let's have a look. Let's have a look at the stories here. Share screen. I think the Blaze is our first one. Well, this wasn't going to be the first one, but I'll make it the first one because this is a crazy story. This is something my brother sent to me. So there has been a phone associated with the assassin, and they don't mean it's the assassin's phone. This is the Trump assassination attempt, right? This is the shooter. This is not the shooter's phone, but there is a phone that is somehow connected to this guy. Like there's a person connected to this guy who has this phone, and they've figured out that this phone has gone like near this guy's either house or his work or something. And it also goes back to FBI, DC, Washington, DC offices. This is a story by Steve Baker, Steve Baker was actually arrested by the Biden administration for reporting accurately on January 6th. And Joseph Hanneman, who I've never heard of before. But Blaze, as we know, is an excellent company with great journalists. Geolocation investigation shows a phone associated with Thomas Crooks visited Butler, Pennsylvania twice just days before the shooting. A cell phone associated with the home and work address of would-be assassin Thomas Matthew Crooks visited the Gallery Place building in Washington, D.C. that houses a mall and offices of the FBI, the Heritage Oversight Project reported July 22nd. The Oversight Project, part of the Heritage Foundation, began a geolocation investigation hours after the July 13th attempted assassination of former President Donald J. Trump at a fairground in Butler, Pennsylvania. Crooks 20 was killed by Secret Service. We know all that. But the crazy thing is, so they figured out that somebody who is associated with Crooks or who knows him has gone to these FBI offices in Washington, D.C., which makes it sound like what every conspiracy theorist on X is saying right now, which is it seems like an inside job, right? And the crazy thing about this is, like, to me, this should be all over the news. This should be headline news, right? My stupid parody video of Kamala Harris should not be headline news everywhere. You know what I mean? Like, this story should be on the news, but nobody talks about this. It drives me crazy because, look, was it an inside job? I don't know. Like, I have no really good evidence to support that, so I don't report it like that. But this story makes me think maybe there is. And then did you see that guy that had to testify, like the new Secret Service guy that came on and testified?
No, I haven't seen it. Nope.
Yeah, he was just as bad as the old one. Like he came on and he was like, they were like, do you know what happened here? And he's like, nope. They're like, but you do know though. And he's like, maybe I know, maybe I don't, but I'm not saying anything. It's like, come on, guy. Like, you saw what happened with the last lady. Come into this hearing, come in prepared, come in having all your facts straight, ready to go. Yeah. Get a binder full of data if you have to, right? Have it categorized. Like, what these guys come in and they're just like, I don't know. I don't know what happened. It's like, but wait, hold on. You're one of the top Secret Service guys. And it's a Secret Service F up, and you come in and you go, I don't know. And he's like, I don't know. I just don't know.
But that's typical of this administration. And who knows what they want to set up soon. Because think about it. Even if Trump wins the election, there's still what, like 70-something days before he actually becomes president? Yeah. So, I mean, who knows?
That's a lot of time to ruin the country. Yeah. Oh, you mean you think even if he gets elected, they'll assassinate him beforehand?
Yeah, it's a possibility. Maybe. I mean, what happened? Look, what happened there seems very whatchamacallit, set up. So I don't know.
Whatchamacallit? That was a candy bar in the late 80s, early 90s, I believe.
And look at this. Look at the script that's sent out now with all the media. And they're like it never happened. It's like the assassination never happened. Nobody's talking about it. It's forgotten news. That's one of the biggest things that happened in the United States of America in like century,
in history,
in
our history.
And look, like, it's something. It's not. This is not. There's something up here.
There was a Secret Service sniper who came out, and I guess this was like an internal memo that got leaked to the press, and he was basically like, "This Secret Service is a crap show. Like, we cannot continue like this. Donald Trump will be assassinated if we continue like this. Like, now everybody who might have an idea to assassinate a president knows that we're crap at our job. Like, we got to fix all this." And like, I don't know. The only thing that I think everybody thought, oh, okay, we got rid of the diversity hire, so now like a real agent will step up, and then you have this hearing, and you're like, okay, it's a straight white guy. This guy should be able to tell us what's up. And he's just like, I don't know what happened. I don't know. It's just like, I think people kind of give him a little bit of slack because he's the new guy, right? He wasn't there when all this happened. But no, I don't give him any slack. You should.
But you trust somebody like that? You trust somebody like that to watch your leaders or your nation, like to?
No, yeah. Don't come into a hearing and say I don't know about everything. Come into a hearing and like I don't know. The guy was a disappointment. All right, I'm going to show you guys who is perceived to be potentially Kamala Harris's VP pick for her campaign. This guy is a real piece of human garbage. Let's have a look. This guy is what I call him, Skinny Brian Stelter. Skinny Brian Stelter is what I call this guy. Such a little weasel. Look at him. Just the way he moves. He's annoying. His hair,
kind of
everything
meanders
about him. All right, let's have a look at this.
I mean, I have to laugh. You ever see this guy? Like when he's on stage, he like kind of meanders over, can't really walk well. And he goes over to the flag and he like hugs the flag. I mean, I love the flag, but it's a weird thing he does.
Trying to be like Trump.
That's exactly.
While he's hugging the flag, you know what he's doing? He's ripping away our freedoms. That's what he's all about. Because here's what I know. It's not freedom to tell our children what books they're allowed to read. That's not freedom.
What a little weasel. So Trump kind of does this thing when he gives speeches where he kind of makes fun of people and makes a little joke here or there or whatever. And so this guy's trying to do the Trump thing, right? But he looks like he just walked out of like an accountant meeting. I mean, he's got the slick back hair. I don't know. He just looks like a con artist.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he looks like a scammy guy that's going to like rip off old ladies.
He looks like the type of guy that will rob his own mother.
Exactly. That's what he looks like. And he's got this kind of weaselly way about him. And then he's trying to make fun of Trump for hugging the flag.
The only people he's going to convince with that is the liberal lefties on the far end of the left. He's not going to.
I know, like, why would you? But like, of all the things to make fun of, why make fun of Trump hugging the flag? Like, even if it does look a little weird and awkward, he's hugging the American flag. It's a symbolic gesture.
It actually makes Trump look better because he almost died for this country. So saying that he's hugging the flag just makes it worse at this point, because you see the assassination attempt. And then they're saying that he hugs the flag. Okay, he risked his life for this country.
What a weird dude hugging the flag.
Yeah.
Gosh.
That whole thing with the weird stuff. That whole thing with them with the weird stuff.
That's what I'm trying to transition into here. So they've jumped onto this whole thing of calling specifically JD Vance weird, right? JD Vance. They keep saying JD Vance is weird. And the reason is because there was a rumor that JD Vance had some kind of like weird like sexual thing when he was like in his adolescence with something to do with a couch, right? And that this was supposed to be in his biography. Well, it was not in his biography. It was just a rumor that people put out on the internet, but it spread like wildfire, and the left all kind of bought it, and they're like, oh, this JD Vance is like a really weird guy. And so on Twitter, people started posting JD Vance is a really like conservative. Started posting, yeah, you're right. JD Vance is a really weird guy. And then they post like drag queens.
Yeah.
Or like specifically like Kamala Harris hanging out with like these like LGBTQ folks. And it was like, JD Vance is the weird one. Okay, the conservatives, we're the weird ones, sure. But the left, they jump onto an idea and they really like sink their claws into it, right? And so they got this idea, JD Vance is weird, and they won't step off of this talking point, and I don't think it will be effective because JD Vance is one of the least weird people I have ever seen in my life. And so they're just like, what a weird guy. Oh, and another thing, I should have played this. I forgot to try to find it, but I think it was Pete Buttigieg, who lives with another man and has a child
and breastfeeds.
That he had to take that he breastfeeds and had to take maternity leave for or whatever, which is all obviously very weird. He comes on some talk show and he's like, oh, it's not just that JD Vance, it's the thing that's really weird about JD Vance is that he gets up there and he says, like, if you're a childless woman, that that you don't have as much stake in the future of this country than somebody with children. Well, I don't know how that's weird because I think that's kind of just like objectively true.
Yeah, exactly.
Like if you have, oh man, my collar's coming out. This is what happens when you do 2 shows in a row. All right. So yeah, I mean, if you have children, then you want the country to remain good for another generation. And if you think those children are going to have children, you want the country to remain good or to even improve for 2 generations. And presumably for even more generations than that. So you do have a sort of stake in everything. If you think you're going to die alone, there are people who will go, well, you know what? once I'm gone, hell with this country. I don't give a crap, you know? And I think that that is just rational. You know, there are people like that in this world. And so to say, if you have children, and so then Pete Buttigieg goes, but it's not just that he thinks that you have a better stake in this country. He thinks that you should get more votes if you have children. Now, I don't think that's like the official position of the Trump campaign or anything like that. It's just something J.D. Vance probably said, like, randomly, like, you know, in a campaign speech or something. And like, but kind of true, actually. I think probably that's kind of true. And I'm not saying like that should be a law or anything like that, but it kind of is a good idea because like he says, you know, if you have a stake in this country, you're probably going to vote in a way to improve the country, to make it better in the long term. And yeah, you got all these sort of like childless single women voting Democrat.
Yeah.
And
yep.
I actually believe this is something that I get in trouble for a little bit, but I believe that these are the most gullible people in our society. As like, you know, in terms of like intelligent people. Obviously, you have some people who are just dumb, of course, and that spans the spectrum of all races and genders and everything. Dumb people, there is no, they don't discriminate. Dumb people are just, every group has dumb people. But when I'm talking about like intelligent voters, it seems to me that single women tend to be the most gullible. They tend to be the most easily tricked. And I know people get mad at me for saying that because it sounds sexist or whatever, but that is my perception of reality. I really believe that's true based on, you know, it's not that I hate women or anything like that. Obviously, I love women probably a little bit too much, but I you know, my life experience tells me that. Now we've got a super chat, so let me jump in before I get Jason's opinion on this. Steel Fang jumps in with $20. Thank you so much, Steel Fang. And he says, please set up another way to donate a super chat. I don't want to have crap tube taking a percentage. And they do take a significant percentage, actually.
That's a good idea.
Well, we do have a Patreon. Well, I have a Patreon, but Jason won't get any of that money. Yeah, I should probably figure some other way out to do the super chat. But thank you so much, Steel Fang, for that. We appreciate it. Anyway, Jason, what is your perspective on this whole thing with?
Well, I have a certain belief
that
Vance
being weird.
Well, I have the certain beliefs that I have. The certain beliefs, the way I vote, my religious beliefs. I have all those beliefs because not only because my parents kind of instilled some of that in me, but you know, I'm a free thinker. I'm completely different than my parents were. I mean, some of their stuff stuck on me, but the main reason why I think like this, act like this, vote like this, think like this is because I always wanted to have a family, always wanted to have kids. So I was always thinking about the future of my family, of my kids, even when I didn't have kids. So that was always a factor. So I agree 100% with what Van said. It's and back in the day, what was it all about? Like in the 40s, the 30s, what was it all about? The governments would always try to promote families and have kids and have as many kids as you want because, you know, that's what helped the country grow. That's what helped the country progress, you know? So, yeah, like these people, it's everything against what is moral, what is good, what is right for a country. Yeah. You know, it's Marxism. It's Marxism. That's all it comes down to.
I would actually go further, and I would say it's not just Marxism. It's pure evil. It's pure evil.
Yes.
Look at what they did.
It's satanic.
It's satanic. Yeah. Look at what they did with the Olympics, right? And the funny thing is about that, right? So they have this opening ceremony that's like this blasphemous, anti-Christian, demonic, evil crap, you know, LGBTQ stuff, you know, and then the like lesbian. She calls herself a fat lesbian Jew or something like this. This woman that was, you know, featured in this sketch thing. And she says that she's been harassed online. Like she's the victim. Like and this is what they've done. Like you've got this sort of evil atheistic mentality that Christianity is somehow bad for the world. Right. Oh, you've got this religion where their whole concept of the religion is be nice. And this is like, oh my God, these are the bad guys in the world, you know? It's like a reversal of reality. They've taken morality and and this is kind of a trendy thing to do, right? Like the idea of like rebelling and doing the wrong thing. That's kind of, and it's a little bit fun, you know, if, you know, instead of obeying all the traffic laws, maybe you speed a little bit or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
But they take it to this like ridiculous extreme where they in fact invert morality, where they say evil is good and good is evil. And this has become a trendy thing to do. And so they'll do this blasphemous stuff, and then they'll say the Christians who criticize us, they're the evil ones. That's their whole, and honestly, I feel like that whole thing in France, that whole Olympic thing, I think that is a perfect illustration of how the left is in America. And so a lot of time, if you watch them and listen to what they have to say through that lens of, you know, is what they're saying actually an inversion of traditional values, you will realize how evil these people actually are. Like, look at this guy saying that Trump is weird for loving the American flag, mocking him for the way he walks to go up and give and hug the flag, which is obviously a symbolic gesture.
After he was almost killed for the country.
Yeah, you're mocking him after he was almost killed for the country. Now, when Trump hugs the flag and gives the flag a kiss or whatever, it is a little bit of a weird thing because the flag is an inanimate object, right? So you wouldn't hug the flag like because you love it, like you would hug your child or something like that. It's a symbolic gesture, right? What he's doing is a symbolic gesture.
I loved it when he did that. When he did that, I loved it.
Yeah, everyone did. Everyone thought, oh, that's and it was supposed to be a little quirky and it was supposed to be a little funny, you know, but it was supposed to send a message, which is, I love the American flag. And you get this sense with Trump.
Well, it's more than just the American flag. It's like, I love the whole concept of America, of the United States.
Well, the flag itself is symbolic, right?
Yeah,
so hugging the flag is symbolic. And the flag itself is symbolic. I love America is what he's really saying, right? And I love American values, and I love this country. And you know, and with Trump, you do get kind of the sense, if you really pay attention to what Trump says and what Trump does, you get the sense that Trump isn't doing that as a show. Trump is not doing that to like flatter, you know, America. He's doing it because he genuinely loves that flag. That's like a compulsive thing for him.
You know, nobody's genuine.
Yeah,
like even if he's acting, like even if he thought about it before he went on stage, whatever it is, he does. It seems genuine, unlike.
And I'll tell you why. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why you can kind of almost prove that it's genuine. I mean, not entirely, but logically, it makes sense. The fact that it is a little awkward, it is a little weird, you know, because it's something that you wouldn't know. No advisor would say to Trump, oh, you know, it's a good idea, Trump. You know what would be a good look?
And that is why, Chris, that is why I voted for him. That is the exact reason why.
Because he's compulsive, he's spontaneous, he's authentic. And, you know, it's like literally the opposite of Kamala Harris.
Yeah. She is now Kamala Obama now. Kamala Obama. I'm trying to
trying to work out a Barack Obama Kamala Harris combo. Look, she is everything she does is manufactured. Everything she does is fake. Everything she does is phony. People see that. That's why they don't like her. G.I. Jose is back. Let's look at what he has to say. He says, I love seeing our flag driving back to the FOB. What's the FOB? Somebody in the chat will tell us.
Forward observation base? I don't know. That's a military term.
I don't know. Well, anyway, so to Trump seems genuine. Kamala seems phony. And for this piece of crap VP pick to make fun of Trump symbolically hugging the flag, showing that he loves America, is disgusting. He is a despicable little weasel. And I hope she does pick him as her VP because it'll just show what a weirdo they are. Let's see. I
was almost right. I was almost right. Forward operating base. I was
nice. Right. Well done, G.I. Jose. Well done, Jason. Well done, chat. Christie's Corner, who is the artist formerly known as Dame Frodo Lives, writes, Satan mocks God by doing the opposite of what we Christians do and believe. Everything backwards.
Kabama. That's a good one.
I think, you know what I think was happening? She was typing out her her super chat, and she was like listening at the same time. And then at the end, she was like, I'll add this other one. So you got 2 super chats in one. Well done. Smart girl. Thank you very much, Christie's Corner. We appreciate you. Everybody subscribe to Christie's Corner on YouTube. All right, let's look at the next story. Man, I really hate that guy so much.
I wanted to
go on. Sorry,
somebody wrote a comment, which I guess there's new viewers to the channel. Why do you think your channel hasn't blown up after Elon shared your video? You'd think you'd have another 2 or 300,000 subscribers by now. That's the
ultimate. Think, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
you'd think, wouldn't you? No, okay, I'll tell you exactly what happened. So for all the new people out there, let me explain. I made a video a long time ago. This was like, I don't know, 6 years ago or 7 years ago or something.
Yeah.
It was a Gillette ad parody. Okay. And so Gillette had produced this ad that was basically like, men, you are toxically masculine and you can do better. And it's like, your core demographic that buys razors are men. Like, why are you mocking the people who buy your product? It was such a dumb thing, right? So that went viral. That video went viral. And I thought, what would be fun is if I did a video that expressed more blatantly what they're saying subtly in the video. So they were saying in the video, they were very subtly saying, men, you can do better, right? So in my video, I just basically produced the same video, but I did a different voiceover, which basically suggested like, men are horrible and terrible and all this kind of stuff and pathetic and everything, and I really cut men down in the video because I was basically trying to say what Gillette was saying in the video more obviously. And that video went absolutely viral. Everybody loved that video. It kind of made me famous a little bit. Like, not like if I went to CPAC that year and I said, oh, I did this Gillette video. And it was like, oh, you did that? Okay, cool. Right. So because of that video, YouTube immediately discovered that I was a conservative, and I immediately got shadow banned. I don't know what lists I got on, but I got on some blacklists. I got on some really bad lists. And then I did this video called The Brains Behind AOC.
Yeah.
Then my channel just went.
Yeah.
That was huge. But what's funny is that video didn't, like, I've looked back at the analytics for that. That video actually didn't do that well on YouTube. What happened was people were sharing it off of YouTube. So they were sharing it primarily on Facebook. And that's why I got millions and millions of views from that. But I actually think people were like copying and pasting it in other locations, and it got more views. I think I got a lot more views off of YouTube, my, not the one that I had posted, than what I had posted, which is a shame because, I didn't get any of that money.
I think where everybody gets that thing where she's an actress and that's from you. Like you uncovered all that. It was huge. Right, and I'm telling you, that's the reason why you're suffering now with YouTube.
Yeah, I know. So YouTube figured out, okay, this guy's a conservative. He supports Trump and all this kind of stuff. So I got put on all these lists because this was like the adpocalypse time, right? And so they were really, really trying to be, and they developed something called borderline content. They developed this policy called borderline content. So now YouTube feels that they have justification to remove a channel if you spread misinformation or disinformation. If you spread dangerous conspiracy theories, they say, they can take off your channel and they feel justified doing it. But they got a lot of flack for taking off channels that people didn't think they should have taken down, right? And so they kind of stopped doing that. But what they did instead is they said, okay, we have this policy called borderline content. And what that means is if you create something that's maybe not a dangerous conspiracy theory, but is like a borderline conspiracy theory, then we will reduce the distribution of your videos. So now most of my videos are only ever seen by my subscribers. And even then, it's only like a small percentage of my subscribers because YouTube really, really heavily suppresses the distribution of my videos. That's how YouTube manages to suffocate most channels. And that's why I make barely any money anymore. And so, yeah, so that's sort of my life at the moment. I'm sort of struggling with this. Just YouTube, they just don't like my politics.
We have the proof of what happened now too. So it's pretty obvious what we were talking about earlier.
Well, I'll tell you what, like when you like the whole borderline content thing is total BS. Because if you actually read what borderline content is, it's just whatever YouTube decides. So YouTube people can just like the people who work there could just be like, we don't like this guy's politics. This is borderline content, and then like you're screwed basically. And I'll give you an example. This is an example. This is what Jason was talking about just now. So the video that I produced that Elon Musk shared, my channel should be the only channel that has that video up because it's my original content, right? If anybody else puts that video up, it should immediately be flagged as like, this is not your video. This is this other guy's video. But for some reason, YouTube didn't do that. And my brother recently discovered that somebody else had posted my video like the same day I did, like the same day I posted it to Twitter, and it went viral. Somebody grabbed it off of Twitter, well, X, grabbed it off of X and posted on their own YouTube account. They didn't change it. They didn't alter it in any way. It's just, it is as it is. Now, my original video that I posted to YouTube currently has about 300,000 views. The video that this random other channel, and by the way, this channel only has about 1,000 subscribers. So I think 1,500 subscribers, but probably less before he posted this video. He had no audience, right? I have 350,000 subscribers. This guy had nothing. This guy got 1 million views from my video. He got 1 million views, and I got 300,000. How the hell does that happen?
Well,
How the hell does that happen?
I have my theory. I don't know.
What's going on YouTube.
Yeah, it must be some fake account, and YouTube just uses that to divert your views, and it gives it all.
I don't think it was like that, because the guy did eventually figure out that I had a YouTube channel, and he like wrote in like the description, like, "Oh, I just found out this guy has a YouTube channel. You should follow him because this is actually his video." I'm like,
okay, so maybe he's real, but I'm sure YouTube pointed towards that one more than to yours.
Well, of course it did. By default.
Yeah,
it did. Yeah.
1,500 subscriptions. I mean, that's ridiculous.
Mandarava Sandari gave us $2, but she didn't write anything. Now, this sometimes happens. You got to be careful when you're writing a super chat, because people will put in the money and then they'll go to put in the text, and somehow it'll send sometimes before the text goes out. So if you have anything to write it in the regular chat. And Jason, maybe you can find her what she's trying to say here. Christy's Corner has jumped in again, and she says, "Yep, Kabama, not on my watch." I love that. Okay. Lane Michaels has jumped in with $5. Thank you, Lane Michaels. Says, "Do a hawk to a spit on that thing parody of Kamala. That catchphrase is huge. Ride the wave." That's actually a pretty funny idea. I have actually a friend from Los Angeles that I used to hang out with at parties in Los Angeles, and her name is Jax, Jax, and I posted a video that she had done with the Hawk to a Girl, where they had sort of made up some like sort of song just real quick. She does this on her Instagram. My friend Jax, she's actually a pretty successful musician in terms of like pop music, but she'll go on Instagram and just like come up with songs like, quick little songs. Like she does like a few every week. Like it's pretty crazy. But
so
the Hawk to a Girl is pretty funny.
Mandarova Sundari.
Yeah,
she
sounds Indian. Sounds Indian.
That was the one that sent a super chat that didn't have anything on it. She writes, "Jason, man beats up woman boxer at Olympics." Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that.
Oh, we're getting there. We're getting there. That's coming up. Is that the next one? Maybe. Hold on. Let's have a look here.
No.
The Rob Schneider one. All right. He writes. Now this is so this is Rob Schneider. I mean, this could have been anybody because a lot of people posted this. He says, "I saw someone post on X that Google was suppressing President Trump's assassination attempt on their Google search engines, and it's true. That is why Google needs to be broken up by the FCC. If the government thought the long-distance phone company had a monopoly and had to be broken up, then how do we give the world's largest information search company with Robert Epstein testifying Congress that Google was altering their algorithms in their search engines to benefit Democrats and created an 18 to 19% swing, a free pass?" And that's exactly right. These companies need to be held accountable. So they seem to be suppressing Donald Trump. When you search for Donald Trump, they seem to be suppressing it.
Yep.
Now, here's what Google said. They said that they have in place, they have some kind of mechanism to stop people searching up searching anything about political violence. They don't want anything about political violence, and so that's why this isn't here. However, people have subsequently looked up, just typing in Donald Trump, like Donald Trump rally, for instance. I think Elon Musk posted this the other day. And if you type Donald Trump rally, you get the first things that come up are reports about Kamala Harris. Like that's what they're doing on on Google now. Are you paying attention, Jason?
Because I just Googled it, and they're getting they've changed. They pretty much changed it. I'm getting some Trump stories, but it's not really. You don't. You know what's funny? It's not like all about like the Trump assassination. It's mainly like articles about
they said they
the
were going to
assassination.
change it. They said they were going to change
it. Yeah, but it's like articles about the assassination that without any images of the actual Trump with the blood. There's none of that. You don't see any of that. And it's just pretty much articles about like the Secret Service. It's not about the assassination, you know?
Right.
So they're kind of like weaseling their way around it still.
I'm trying to find the thing about looking up Trump. Geez, Elon Musk posts so much stuff.
Yeah,
I guess it makes sense since he owns X that he would be posting all the time. But here we go. This is it. Let me see if I can bring this back up. Add to stage. All right, so we got here. If you write Trump rally, this is if Elon Musk himself tried to do this, and he took his own screenshot of it. And if you write in Trump rally, he says the top stories are Kamala Harris rally in Atlanta.
Yep.
Thanks, Google. This, I mean, it's like essentially election interference, isn't it? I mean, that's what it is.
Thank God, Elon bought X, because now the truth is shown. You know, I think that's more effective.
Exactly.
Now you can see you can see see it with your own eyes because of X. So these companies now, Google and all that stuff, they need to watch out now.
Hero to the nation. Yeah, he's like a hero to the nation. He basically saved.
Yeah, he needs to buy YouTube.
If only. But you know what? The greatest thing that Donald Trump as well, but Elon Musk could do: share more of my hilarious videos. I made a second one, by the way. I don't know if I told everybody. I did make a second one. So if you want to go to my YouTube channel and watch, you're on
the second one.
Probably on.
The second one's better than the first one, people. So watch it.
Is it? Yeah, some people are saying that. I don't know if that's true. I think that's a nice thing to say, but I don't know if
pretty
that's
good.
accurate.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good, though. I think that I did get the AI a little bit better because I felt like it would be under more scrutiny. So because I'm like, everybody's going to be watching this, you know.
Somebody wrote in the comments, usually sequels suck, but this one is better than the original.
Yeah. They're like, this is the Terminator 2 of parody videos. Dame Piglet jumps in with $2. Thank you, Dame Piglet. She says, people buy super stickers to donate without any text. That is true, but I think that most of the time that happens, it's an accident.
Yeah.
Steel Fang jumped in again. Thank you, Steel Fang. $5 says, so the left finds out you don't fall in line of their beliefs and they suppress you. Who is the fascist? Well, that is 100% true. We talk about this all the time on the show. The left are the fascists. I think that Ronald Reagan said it best. All right, let's move on to the next story. Unless you got something to say, Jace.
Nope.
Okay. I don't even know what this one is. Oh, this is the Kamala Harris rally. Okay, so Chad Prather, who I know, he works at the Blaze, he's talking about the lyrics. I don't care about the lyrics so much, but check this out. This is how they introduce Kamala, right?
She's trying really hard.
But this is Megan the Stallion. That's her name. Megan the Stallion. All right. Let's let me quickly look. Let's just look real quick at the Trump crowd. Well, first of all, okay, so this is the point I'm trying to make. Is that let me just show you real quick.
Pandering.
It's not pander. That's not what I'm trying to say. Give me 1 second. Let me go ahead and play it. Put up another screen. The suspense, I know, is just killing you guys. Let's have a look. So this is from my friend Savannah Hernandez. She's posted this. Hey, Sav, if you're watching. She's definitely not. But anyway, she says, shortly after Kamala began her speech, attendees at a rally began to leave. She hadn't even been talking 15 minutes before people started exiting. Yeah. So now here's the thing. So here's the thing about this. They're comparing Kamala's speech. You can see that whole stadium is filled up, right? And they're comparing that to Trump's one, right?
Not,
and you can
really,
see
it's really not that full.
Here. But she's showing that people are trying to leave. People are like exiting, whatever. They're all kind of like escaping. Now, why? But see, it's pretty big. It's a lot of people. But here's the thing. Some of them were paid, like the influencers. But it seems pretty good, right? It seems pretty good. But the problem is that first clip I showed you, that Megan Thee Stallion thing. So they go into Atlanta.
Oh, they go just for that?
And exactly. And they go, you get a free concert from this huge star, this huge musician. So that's how they trick you, right? That's how they trick you into thinking there's all this momentum for
Chris,
Kamala Harris, right?
I didn't think of that. That's a good one.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what they're doing. And let me go ahead and show you with the Trump rally at the same time. Because the Trump rally, do you know what musicians sang at the Trump rally, Jason? Did you hear about that?
The what? Say it again.
The Trump rally. Do you know what musicians sang at the Trump rally?
No.
None.
Kid Rock?
That's who.
Oh.
No. Nobody sang at the Trump rally. It was Trump.
Yeah.
They were going there for Trump.
Trump brings them. Somebody wrote in the comments that it's not really that much big of a crowd, and I agree. I didn't see it's, to me it's not that big. Like Trump packs a crowd
lot
like
bigger
that.
than what you would imagine like Biden could get, right?
But it's like what you said. They get a free concert, and a lot of them are like probably paid. They probably bust these people in. You know how they are.
I think that a lot of them actually did get paid. Somebody said they brought pizza and there was that concert, right? And then, so if you go to Atlanta and you say, oh, there's this big star that everybody in Atlanta loves, and she's going to be having a free concert. You want to come and we'll give you pizza. You don't think you're going to pack that stadium? Okay, but this is a Trump rally. This is a Trump rally.
Yeah. Ew, it's a huge difference. And they're there for Trump.
They're yelling, we want Trump. We want, look at that. Look at how awesome that is. That's just so crazy. I love that. Because these people, the truth is, yeah, they love Trump, but why do they love Trump? Because they love America. These people are true patriots. They care about this country. They're not there to see Megan Thee Stallion twerk.
And there's only so many white liberal women and gay men that can go to a rally. You know, that's a very small percentage of of the country. You know, so really, you're not really gonna pack the stadium with that crowd.
That's why we love you, Jason. You tell us the truth. You bring the brutal reality out here. Let's see here. We got another super chat real quick. Ernie Centrafonte. I love Italian names, but they're hard to pronounce for me sometimes. All right. Have you heard more from Elon? Well, there was I'll tell you what, there was something I tweeted, which I thought was kind of funny because it was petty. I mentioned this last week, actually. And Elon Musk responded to it, which was pretty cool. I wrote, because I don't remember who it was. I think it was, Kamala Harris's campaign itself actually responded to my video, which is crazy if you think about that a presidential campaign responded to a video I made. Like, to me, that's mental. But Kamala Harris's campaign responded, and they said that we think that the American people want Kamala Harris's vision of freedom and all this positive stuff, and they're not interested in Donald Trump and Elon Musk's fake manipulated lies, I think that they said. And I was really annoyed by that, so I posted that, and I said, whoa. They're my fake manipulated lies.
It's perfect. Good.
What is this about Donald Trump and Elon Musk's fake manipulated? They're mine, right? So I thought that was kind of a funny tweet, right? And so then Elon Musk, I noticed that tweet had gotten a lot of traction. Like a lot of people had seen that tweet. I'm like, why did this tweet blow up? And it's kind of funny. So I scroll down and there's Elon Musk responded to it, and he just wrote, "Yeah!" exclamation point.
Yeah. I saw that. I was like, that's awesome.
I was like, thanks, Elon. So yeah, Ernie, to answer your question, Elon and I, BFFs.
They're buddies. Best buddies now.
We're buddies now. We're best buddies now.
I'll be replaced soon by Elon. Elon's going to come on the show and replace me.
Maybe. You know, I tell you what, I genuinely like Elon Musk. I think Elon Musk is a cool guy. And I think he'd be I think he'd be a cool person to hang out with, even if he wasn't the richest man on earth. You know, he was just like a regular guy. He's just a funny guy, isn't he? He's a cool dude.
He's got a great sense of humor. Like his sense of humor is like, I mean, he can really dish it out to people. Like,
I know. I mean, of all the people to buy Twitter and turn it into X, it had to be like one of the funniest.
Yeah.
You know, I said this at the time, like I said this on the last live stream. I feel like the reason that he was able to make my video go viral really didn't have to do with the fact that he's a billionaire or that he, creates these rockets to go to Mars, or they created Tesla, or that he, founded PayPal, or any of this stuff. It's just that he's so famous. And he's beloved because he's such a funny guy. All right, I gotta work on my lighting here for a second, but one more super chat real quick before I work on my lighting. This is from MMA Fix. We love you, MMA Fix. We love hearing from him because it's always something entertaining. Yep. Let's see if he's dropped the ball this time. He says, more like Megan D minus Stallion. Am I right? As opposed to Megan the Stallion, it's Megan D minus. Yeah, it's not Megan D Stallion, it's Megan the Stallion. But I understand the joke. It's a little bit of a. It's a Kurt joke for sure. This is a kind of joke. You and Kurt should become best buddies. All right, let me fix my lighting. Jason, you talk some blather.
But the whole thing about that Megan D Stallion, I think that's how you say it. Like, for me, it's like pandering too. Like, she's obviously, the word's out that she's not black, and so I know. So she had, like, you could see, like, she's getting the most ghettoist, most popular ghettoist person that they can get.
Ghettoist.
Look at the person they get to, like, represent, like, blacks and stuff like that. You know, so she's pandering. She's pandering because she knows that they're onto her, that she's not black. So yeah, I mean,
there's that meme of Steve Buscemi, like, dressed as like a hip kid, like the skateboarder or whatever, and he comes in and he goes, "Hello, fellow youths," or whatever, And I don't remember exactly what he says, something like that. I always imagine Kamala Harris going up to like a stadium full of black people and going, "Hello, fellow blacks."
yeah, exactly.
You, I'm cool. I'm hip. I'm down with the, the ghetto funk or whatever. Like the lamest, because she's like culturally she's white essentially, right? She grew up in America. She grew up in she actually went to high school in Montreal, Canada, which is quite funny.
Didn't Elon or somebody put her birth certificate? I don't know if it's real. I saw. I
it says Caucasian. Yeah,
it says Caucasian. I mean, come on.
Yeah. Well, her mom's from India. I don't know why it says Caucasian. I think there's just a mistake, but her mom's from India, like from the country of India.
I think they're considered Caucasian, if
There is some weird connection between like Indians, people from like Iran, people from Europe. So the way that things are classified is a little bit weird. Yep.
This might sound wrong, but Indians, they have very white features, very white hair.
They do. They're like dark. They're like
skinned and
very
dark
tanned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll give them the white title, Caucasian title.
What's interesting about the racial thing? I was actually getting my hair cut by a barber here in Indonesia, and I said, "Who is it easier to cut, Indonesian hair or white people hair?" Not knowing if there was even a difference, right? But this guy was just cutting hair, and he goes, "Oh, much easier to cut the white people hair." And I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "Cutting white people hair is like cutting the hair of a baby." And then I realized that white European hair tends to be very fine. Not every Europeans, but a lot of like Italians maybe have coarser hair. I don't know. But like at least Northern Europeans, like where I'm from, or my ancestors are from, Germany, Scandinavia, this area, I think we have very fine hair. And I think that does distinguish white people from other races pretty significantly. I think Indian people would have coarser hair. I don't know that for sure. I don't know a lot of Indian people. I have met a few in my life, but I didn't run my hands through their hair. So I can't tell you personally. But I think that's probably true. I don't know.
They have really good hair. Like, they're known for their hair. Like,
they are. In fact, black people buy their hair.
Yeah, exactly. I think they have like really thick hair. That's the thing. Like,
Indians are an underrated ethnic minority. I think we really only think about the food, and they do have excellent food.
Yeah. I have a spot here in South Florida where an Indian restaurant spot, and man, the food is so amazing.
Yeah. We should just rename this to the Chris and Jason Racism Hour. We just talk about. I mean, we're not really talking negatively. It was just, but that's how the left would. That's how the left would phrase it. All right, so let's see here. Eye of Memes jumps in. $10. He says, "Why are there people still in the Fauci cult? It's 2024. The pandemic is basically over for most people. Yet 1% of America still follows the science. Are they that out of touch or what?" Well, here's what I think about that. I think that somebody at some point suggested that the COVID masks were like security blankets. You know how kids will keep the security blanket and they'll just hold it in front of them? This is the adult version of that. I think you get that sort of enclosed space around your mouth and you feel secure. When I was a kid, I used to wear like heavy coats, and that made me feel a little bit sort of like tucked in, even when I was out and about, and it felt good, and I think that, but once you get older, you kind of got to get out of that. You kind of got to face the world, I got to fight and, make my, whatever it is, start my business, have my life, get out there and be social and whatever it is. But some people, they just never get away from that sort of childhood sense of like being taken care of. And I think obeying the science and wearing your COVID mask and doing all that stuff, there's certain people who just absolutely love that. I think it's the same kind of people that are drawn to the corporate life, working for a corporation, because mommy and daddy corporation can really take care of you and you don't have to. And that's why, like, anytime I've ever worked at a corporation, I noticed that people are obsessed with job security. They're just like, I will make sure that I never lose my job ever. And they will slit anyone's throat that they have to keep their job. They're like ruthless because they just become.
I mean, some of them are just like, they have families. So they'll do anything to maintain their families, and MMA, there's a big portion that will just want to maintain their BMWs. So
yeah, exactly. MMA Fix jumps in and he says, I think the most brilliant comment of the night. He says, when Elon replaces Jason can become my sidekick.
I'll take what I can get. Okay, you got a deal.
What I can get. Thank you, MMA Fix, for that generous offer. Let's get rid of these. So anyway, so I guess the point that we kind of moved away from is that Donald Trump really does attract these massive crowds. Yep. And let's see if I can bring that back up here. Yeah, this is a real crowd. This is a real Donald Trump crowd. And Kamala Harris cannot do anything close to this. She cannot come close to this. But what she can do is she can be on the same ticket as a major music star, a major musician, major talent, that in a region in which that particular talent has a ton of fans, and then it looks like everybody's there to see Kamala Harris, but nobody's there to see Kamala Harris. But everyone in this crowd, they are all here to see Donald J. Trump. So that is the difference. That is the difference.
It's a fully packed stadium. It's a fully packed stadium.
So it's all optics. So with the Trump thing, that's the difference between Trump and Kamala, right? I keep saying Trump is authentic. Trump is genuine. Kamala is inauthentic. Kamala is a phony, right? And this is another example of that, right? It's all optics. How do we pack a stadium so it looks like a Trump rally, but it's for Kamala, so we can create this illusion of enthusiasm for Kamala? And unfortunately, that might just be like, so when they steal the election, they can say, look, no, she was packing the crowds in. This is totally legitimate, and some people will buy it.
You're right, but as I said again, it wasn't that packed. So imagine if if the singer wasn't there, if the free pizza wasn't there, it probably would have been half that.
Sorry, I'm going to mute this for the next hour, because as much as I like to get the tweets of the people that I want to hear from, it is getting annoying. All right, so let's go ahead and look at the next story. We've got a few more stories to go here, and they're all pretty fantastic today. Oh yeah, this is a good one. Elon Musk tweeted out, probably just a coincidence, that Google employees were the top donors to Joe Biden. And look at this. This is mental. the Google employees, people who work at Google, Alphabet Incorporated, they call it, gave $1.7 million to Joe Biden. That's insane.
And who owns YouTube?
Yeah, Google owns YouTube.
Exactly.
Right. Google owns YouTube. That's correct. So that's why my channel gets suppressed, ladies and gentlemen, because but you can look at all these companies here. People in the U.S. government give to Biden because, like, we want to keep our jobs. Trump's like, I will fire all of you.
Yeah.
And I hope he absolutely does. All right, let's get rid of that. So anyway, I just thought that was a cool thing. It's not really.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I've read that the other day. I knew it was like that. So
yeah, we all knew it was like that.
But I'm glad that he posted it because now the millions seen it.
All right, this is an important super chat again from MMA Fix. He writes an update. He goes, "I got to retract my offer, Jason. Kurt just accepted." Oh, brutal.
I have something to say, but I'm not going to do that to Kurt, So
I know. I was going to say the same thing.
Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
That's
but
obvious.
MMA Fix, you can have him.
No, don't say that.
I love Kurt. I wish he comes back. I wish he would come back.
Yeah, we're trying to get him back. I don't know. Maybe it'll happen. Maybe it won't. All right, this is from Benny Johnson. All right, so this is the titular video of the show. That is the video that I don't know. This isn't really a Benny Johnson thing. This is just the one that I happen to find. But yeah, this guy goes off on this reporter. Basically, Trump acquiesced to go to this. I don't know what it is. Black journalist national something of black journalists or something like that. Anyway, so so this woman just goes off on Trump. This is pretty brutal. This is 3 minutes, so we're just going to play the whole thing.
It's a typical strategy that they do.
It was horrible to watch. I don't know what the hell is wrong with this woman. She's just a nasty person. All right,
I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question so in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit.
Yeah.
I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country, including employment, including opportunity zones with Senator Tim Scott of South Carolina, which is one of the greatest programs ever for black workers and black entrepreneurs. I've done so much. And, and I say this, historically, black colleges and universities were out of money. They were stone cold broke. And I saved them and I gave them long-term financing and nobody else was doing it. I think it's a very rude introduction. I don't know exactly why you would do something like that. And let me go a step further. I was invited here and I was told my opponent, whether it was Biden or Kamala, I was told my opponent was going to be here. It turned out my opponent isn't here. You invited me under false pretense. And then you said, you can't do it with Zoom. Well, where's Zoom? She's going to do it with Zoom and she's not coming. And then you were half an hour late, just so we understand. I have too much respect for you to be late. They couldn't get their equipment working or something was
President,
wrong.
I would love
I think
you
it's
can
a
answer
very
the
nasty
on your
question.
And why you
I have
that
answered the question.
Trust you with another
I have
years.
been the best president for the black population since Abraham Lincoln. That's my answer.
Better than President Johnson, who signed the Voting Rights Act.
And for you to start off a question and answer period, especially when you're 35 minutes late because you couldn't get your equipment to work, in such a hostile manner, I think it's a disgrace.
Let me just ask a follow-up, sir, and then we'll move on to other questions here.
Fantastic. I just love that. I thought, okay, yeah, maybe it's not going to look so good to certain people, but she just needs to get like. You can't let people try to like attack you like that and not come back at them. And I think he did it, and it actually was nice. I think he was too nice. Actually,
this is another moment that's gonna wake people up. These people are idiots. Like, you go into an interview like that, attacking the guy, just the way your voice, just the way your body language, and you think you're gonna get sympathy from people, even on their side. Like, they're gonna look at it and they're gonna be like, why is she like that? Like, get him another way. She's just won a bunch of more voters, I think, because he was able to actually answer that and answer it well. Like, this is the 2016 Trump I saw there. He answered it well, and they can't deny. She couldn't deny what he said. So
yeah, he was actually like pretty measured. I think I would have been more mean to her. Actually, I would have gone off on this woman, But yeah, no, she's just a disgusting human being. Just a disgusting human being, just a vicious, nasty person. He handled it well. I thought, it's not going to win everybody over, but I think he did a good job. It definitely made news. I mean, it's definitely a newsworthy thing. But yeah, I mean, it's sometimes Trump kind of gets, I don't know, kind of narrow vision, tunnel vision on certain things. Like, I don't know if I'm talking about the getting your equipment ready or whatever it was, but you're late. He just should have said you were late. So you're late. Yeah. You showed me disrespect because you're late. He didn't have to get into
it was a good point, though, but you're right. I agree with you. Like, he shouldn't have said the equipment thing, but it was a good point he was making. Like, they didn't show the crowd respect, but they were late and he was there early, so I mean, very true. Yeah.
I mean, why not be polite anyway? Just why not be polite?
Why not be professional? Like, come on.
Yeah, professional. But Donald, it's funny. It's like a generational thing. There's this thing in this newer generation where they just don't respect anybody. It's just like complete narcissist.
That's a big problem. Yep.
A huge problem. I don't even know how to deal with it. Like, it's like a cultural shift that I don't know how you can fix that. Because
it's I'm going to bring it up again. It's a very satanic thing. Because
it's
biblical. Respect your elders, respect your parents, your mother and father. Like it's a satanic thing. Like, they have no respect. Those people have no respect. Come on, they have no respect for children. They have no respect for life. You think they're gonna have respect for leaders or elders or anything like that? Yeah. No, of course not.
Steel Fang jumped in with another $5. Thank you, Steel Fang. He says the scandemic definitely created a lot of misophobia. People, I don't know what misophobia means. I'm ignorant as to the meaning of that word, but I'm sure you're right. It created a lot of messed up people. Maybe that's what happened to this woman. Maybe she got infected with COVID in her brain. But I don't know. Whoever hired that woman should be fired. They need to fire her because she just made everybody look bad that she works with. Or maybe they gave her high fives. I mean, that's the problem. Like, it's all about get him, make a viral moment, And I think that's kind of what she was doing. Like, oh, this will be cool on social media, and like I'll blow up and I'll be in the news and everything. Yeah, but you don't look good.
That's the thing. That's the problem. Chris just froze. That's the problem. There's no self-awareness. It's incredible. Like, they don't realize it's working against them. They might get the few crazy fringe leftists saying, "Oh yeah," but they already have them. So this is like.
There's two ways to get notoriety. You can do something that is exceptional, like you can be a great athlete, or you can make a video that Elon Musk reposts and the whole world sees and says, "That was awesome, Chris."
Here we're never gonna not unlive this moment.
Yeah, I'll keep bringing it up all the time. But or it was an appropriate example for what I was talking about. But or you could just be publicly really nasty, right? Like, you can assassinate a president, that'll make you famous, or mass shooting, something like that. Or like what this girl does, which is just be rude to somebody with that you should have a little bit of respect for. I'll tell you what, if I was interviewing Kamala Harris, who I have no respect for whatsoever, I would still show her a modicum of respect because of the nature of the situation, right? I want to challenge her on certain issues, certain ideas. But I'm not just going to like basically be like, you're an evil piece of crap, like straight in.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to go in an interview. You're not going to go in an interview and attack her. You're just not going to do that. We wouldn't do that. We would ask the questions that we know that they can't answer or would get them, but we would do it in a respectful way. Like,
you just hit the nail on the head there. I don't even think you realize it. The difference between the reason we would show Kamala Harris respect in the interview is because we know that if we ask the right questions, she will destroy herself.
Yes.
Whereas the left can't do that with Trump. The left cannot ask Trump a question where he will embarrass himself with the answer. They don't know how to deal with Trump. They don't know how to compete with him rhetorically. Because I think that if you're right about things, like if you have political positions that make sense logically, you're never going to like walk into an interview worried about what your answer is going to be about this or that, because you're like, well, I have decent answers for this stuff. Somebody like Kamala Harris, she does not have decent answers for most questions on policy. So you bring her into an interview and you could pretty easily trip her up. I think that there was a point, I mean, there was multiple, there's all over Twitter right now, X, they're all over X, instances in which Kamala Harris could not answer questions and totally fumbles with the answers to questions. And, she does that thing where she like, Trump calls it rhyme. She talks in rhyme, but it's not really rhyme. It's repetition. She does this thing. I posted in the second. You guys have to see the second parody video. If you haven't seen the second parody video, I think it is in some ways it is better than the first.
You should show these videos once we start this podcast.
All right.
That should be the opening.
All right. Let me go ahead and get it. Give me 1 second. I'll let me.
Yeah, exactly.
Jason, what are you doing?
She is unburdened by what has been. Exactly.
All right, hold on. So this is going to be. This is us right now. Okay, hold on. There it is. Okay, let me go ahead and play this. So this is my second parody. So now, but nobody then now will go to my YouTube channel. Everybody got to go to my YouTube channel and like this video so that I get the algorithm. Not that it matters, but.
Don't see anything. Not seeing anything. Chris, not seeing anything.
Oh, you're not seeing it. Do you hear it?
Nope.
All right, hold on. Okay, there we go. All right, you ready? Sorry. That was a lot of dead air. Sorry about that. Okay.
I'm Kamala Harris, and this is my rebranding. I get it. Until now, Americans have seen me as that childless Karen that always has too many drinks at the cocktail party, and you don't have the heart to tell my husband Doug that he's a whipped beta male married to an insufferable witch. Look, I get it. I'm unlikable. I'm inauthentic. I say crazy shit.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. When we talk about the children of the community, they are the children of the community. You need to get to go and need to be able to get where you need to go to do the work and get home.
And yes, okay, I was the border czar. And so even though I might have been a bad vice president, what I do have is ambition. You would not believe what I would do for this country. Oh, Beautiful. Who am I kidding? If you vote for me, you're as cringe as Chuck Schumer.
We are here today to throw our support behind Vice President Kamala Harris. I'm clapping. You don't have to.
Let's all see what can be, unburdened by what has been. And by what has been, I mean the Biden-Harris administration. Vote Trump 2024. Let's make America great again.
I'm Professor Sagan Deesnuts, and I approve this message.
Brilliant.
I make myself laugh.
I love that moment where you said that she'll do whatever it takes.
Okay, well, you want me to go through that slowly so that people understand what
that was a great part. Yeah.
So even though she says you wouldn't believe what I would do for this country, what I've actually, if you read the actual text.
Yep.
This might be a little too slow. Let's see here. What I do have is ambition, she says. You would not believe who I would do for my career.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So even though she says what I would, so that's a little Easter egg. I don't think most people got that, but
I saw a couple people got it on the comments. I saw that. If somebody didn't say in the comments, I wouldn't have gotten it because I didn't get it the first time. And then when somebody said in the comments, I was like, ooh, that was great.
We've got a clarification here. Steel Fang, $5. Thank you again. Misophobia, also known as germophobia. Oh, very good. So Jason, I think we've got a new way to make money on the show. Every time somebody gives us a super chat, we'll say we don't understand one of the words.
There you go.
And they'll give us more money in order to. Thank you so much, Steel Fang.
What? Wait a minute. What is germophobia? I don't know what germophobia. Afraid of Germans? What is that? He's gonna have to do another super chat.
Very good, very good, very good. All right, so that was quite smart. I didn't even understand. I thought you were being serious. That was so dry. It was beautiful. But anyway, yeah. Yes, I actually think that, and I've said this for a long time, the best way to attack the left is through comedy. And they're not really used to being attacked through comedy. I think that I think I mentioned this at the top of the show. Like, you know, they've got all these late night TV show hosts and stuff that are constantly attacking the right using comedy, and they're used to that. That's how our country is accustomed to hearing comedy. It's always punching conservatives. It's punching to the right. But actually, so when you do punch to the left and you hit them with a joke, which is a good joke, and it like hits hard, they don't know how to deal with that. They're like, it's not fair. Gavin Newsom wants to make a law that stops us because what an a-hole, by the way. Oh, you made fun of one of our sides, so I'm going to make a law to stop you. Yeah, you're just going to violate the Constitution.
But that's how, you know, they can't win arguments, so they have to do it in that way. Either pass a law to or suppress, you know, like they want to do with the Supreme Court.
That's where the Professor Sagan D's nuts thing came from.
That was good.
It was an Elon Musk tweet. Elon Musk had, because when Gavin Newsom tweeted that thing out about, I'm going to ban parody videos that use AI generated voices. Elon comes out and he goes, actually, I just conferred with the world-renowned expert, Professor Sagan D's nuts, and he's assured me that parody in America is legal. Something like that. It was just absolutely genius tweet. And then he actually pinned that tweet to his profile with my video, which was nice. So we pinned my video twice. You got to love Elon. All right. G.I. Jose jumps in. He says, she's a 304. Oh, this is great, Jason. You know why? You know why this is great? I have no idea what 304 is.
I was just going to say, I hear this 304 thing all over. Like I see it on the internet. I see it everywhere. And,
really?
And I'm like, what is this? Am I that out of it? What is this 304?
I have no idea. I've never heard of it.
Is it like some MMA hoe or something? Is it like a
MMA Fix jumps back in. He says, Jason is right. It's satanic. Remember when rainbows were about God? And Kamala sucks, talks about diversity, and seems to only consider white dudes for VP. That's quite funny. And she's married to a white dude as well.
Yeah, exactly. They're all like, if you go to the Democrat side and you see all the black people, like they're all married to white people.
I know, they've got a whole thing.
Yeah,
I think the first person that brought that to my attention was Chadwick Moore. He used to go on Tucker's show all the time. He wrote Tucker's biography. All right, so this is somebody in the chat mentioned this earlier. This is something we've been meaning to get to. This is unjust. Biological male boxer viciously beats female opponent and forces her to quit in tears within seconds at woke Olympics. I'm not going to play the video because it's pretty brutal, but I have a theory about this, which I've mentioned on other shows, which is I think we should allow them to box. I think we should allow men to box in the female sports, and the reason is because. But there has to be a certain condition met, which is that the girl boxer, the female boxer, gets to use a gun. Those are my conditions. So I think it's perfectly fair.
No. I love this, Chris. I want them to allow men in all sports, all women's sports.
Right.
It's just gonna prove our point. Like let it happen. Let it happen. And same goes for like others like baseball. I say let them use steroids. Let's have some real fun here with sports. You know, it's the same old. It's getting boring. Let's change it up a little.
Well, you know what is actually good about this is that when you do these crazy things, when you do these crazy things, everyone sees how insane the left is.
Yeah.
And you're going too far. You can't have a man beat up a woman and the whole world go, yeah, that seems fair. That seems reasonable. That seems right. They go, what the hell are you doing? Because there's two kinds of people in this world. There are men and there are women. And
Exactly.
They look at the situation a little bit differently. The women look at it like, well, I wouldn't want to get beat up by a man. So this seems like they look at it as like almost like a domestic abuse case. Like this is not right. A man should not be beating up a woman because I wouldn't want to get beaten up. The man looks at it from a sort of like a protective position. Like I think most men are naturally protective of women. I think that's part of our DNA. That's how we're built. If you meet a man and he's not protective of women, there's something actually wrong with him, I think.
Oh man, yeah.
Yeah. So we look at it a little bit differently from a little bit of a different perspective, but everyone is horrified. And so this, I think when conservatives go, look, men are men, women are women, men should not be fighting women in boxing and in the sport. I think most of the world goes, yeah, that's true, actually. And then if the left goes, no, but it's not fair because a trans woman is a woman, the whole world goes, I don't know about that. You know?
Well, yeah, the Olympic they sent a reply to that, and they were basically like, oh, it's a woman, so
yeah,
they should be like, it's a normal thing. It's a woman. When you hear stuff like that, it's like, okay, these people are completely
no, but
lost.
guys, the sky is red though.
Yeah.
The sky is red though. Well, I don't understand why you keep saying it's blue. It's red. Duh. Yeah, I mean.
So I say,
reality.
Let's do it all out. Come on, guys, get into non-gay guys. Just say you're gay and get into the sports.
It's about being trans. It's not about
trans. I mean, well,
gay.
say you're trans and get into the sports. Just do it. Do it for fun.
I was so confused.
See how much you can win.
I'm like, what does gay guys have to do with this?
Yeah, well.
Right. Took me a second. All right, Steel Fang jumped back in with another $20 just to humor you, Jason, by saying germophobia is when you irrationally fear germs.
Oh, okay. I got it now. Thank you for that.
Wait, what's the word irrationally? What does that mean? I've never heard that before. Somebody throw in a super chat and
irrationally.
Irrationally.
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah. He's gonna have to clarify that.
Thank you, Steel Fang, for humoring us and the $20.
Thank you. That was good. Much
very generous for a joke. It's very good. All right, what else we got here? Let's go ahead and stop this screen. Let's go ahead and present the next screen.
Oh, they're saying 304 upside down looks like ho. I guess.
Oh
yeah.
Okay.
I see. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah. Okay.
Christie's Corner says, finally, maybe, hopefully, they've gone too far. And that's what I've been saying for a while, actually, is like, what's interesting is that on the left, you actually have competing interests, right? So like gay, like I would say like Black Americans don't really like homosexuality as a rule. Culturally, they reject homosexuality. Obviously, Muslims.
That's why white liberal leftists are always making the gay guys in film, movie, television gay. They're always making them gay because they want to like brainwash them.
I guess, yeah. And then the same thing is true of like Islamic immigrants, like Muslim immigrants. They want to bring in like Muslim immigrants all the time for some reason, but they also are like very pro LGBTQ. And so, you got these like gays for Palestine and stuff like that. And the left doesn't realize that these groups are not tolerant of each other. Like they think, oh, everybody's like us. Everybody's tolerant except for those nasty Trump supporters. They're the intolerant ones.
Yeah.
But everybody else is super tolerant. It's like, well, but no, actually, they're not. Actually, a lot of people hate other people in this world, and you're combining groups that shouldn't be combined and don't like each other. So now they've actually hit this point where you get the feminists who want to basically raise up women, do all this stuff for women, and you got the trans activists. And so now you got these very, very strong groups on the left, the feminists and the trans activists, and they're really going at it now. And it's creating problems for the left. I think they've finally gotten to a point where they can't really deal with this. Like they're causing too much infighting. Because they have these extreme positions on everything. Like they have this BS idea that black people are all oppressed, in America.
I'm just laughing at that. I'm laughing at the chat.
In the chat. Okay, go on. What did they say? What did they say? Go ahead.
No, it's a super chat. That's what I'm laughing at.
Oh, you want me to go in?
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
All right, let me look here. This is another Steel Fang, another $10. Thank you so much. It says irrationally. Shut up and take my money. I love that Steel Fang has a sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like is able to and he's I love you, man. You're great. You're great. That's great. We honestly we have the best chat. Like we have the best fans on YouTube. Yep. You guys are amazing. And it's always been true. It's always been true. And I think it's even getting better now somehow. But all right. What was I talking about? That was such a good super chat. I like.
Yeah. No, it was good. It was hilarious. The trans thing.
Yeah. I'm done with that.
Yeah,
maybe what Christy's Corner was saying, maybe we have gone too far. Maybe we've hit a point where they've really gotten I was saying that, like, they say, oh, black people are oppressed. Black people are oppressed. I don't think people really believe that anymore. I mean, a lot of what they say on the left is a lie. Gay people are in danger of us, like lynching them.
Yeah.
Obviously, that's not true, So, trans people are in danger of killing themselves if we don't call them by their preferred pronouns. They say all this like insane stuff, and then like, oh, they should be able to compete in women's sports. Well, we know it's a con. We know guys that aren't particularly, they're professional, so they're obviously good at their sport, but they're not at the top level.
Yep.
They go, oh, it's actually easier to win if I just pretend I'm a woman. So they're conning the system. We all know they're doing it. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
All right, now some better news. This is actually adorable. I don't know if you saw this. This was super charming. Trump. Oh, did they not? Jim? Did you not link to a video? You bitch. Okay. I just assumed he'd link to the video, so I didn't. Oh yeah, no, he did. This is the video here. Let's try to
apologize.
What if I told you there's a way to generate endless power from a device the size of a shoebox?
Okay, let's
meet Palm, a new maximum strength self-defense product.
Gateway Pundit, come on.
Design.
2 ads.
I love that chart. I'm going to sleep with that chart for the rest of my life. That chart. The amazing thing, the people that operate the computers and all the brilliant equipment we have backstage. She said to me, she's.
So he's saying that he loves the chart because he had to look over at the chart.
Yeah.
When the shooter shot at him, and that's what saved his life, looking over at this chart. So that's why he's saying he loves the chart. But now he's giving credit to the woman who's in charge of the charts.
She's great. She should come out. Just tell her to come out here for a second. Quick. You got to get her out. She's never done this before. She saved my life, in a sense. I said, you saved my life. Here she is. Wow.
Put her on a coin.
Put her on a coin.
No, she's a computer genius.
You see, that's a real moment. Genuine.
It's a real moment.
My life. No. So, the story is open, but that chart, I only use it probably less than 20% of the time. So in other words, we do the rallies and stuff. Sometimes I'll pull it down, sometimes I won't, because I do things a little bit at random while I'm up here. Hello, look at a big fella.
Yeah, it goes on like that. He starts talking about how he barely uses it, and just it was sort of like a weird thing where he kind of like last
Drinking
minute.
coffee every day didn't work for me, but I couldn't figure out why until I went from 184 to 123.
Can hear it still.
You definitely need to switch your browser and get a good ad blocker.
I have an ad blocker. Okay, enough with the ad lib
it
recommendations. Anyway, point is, it was a nice moment. It was a nice moment that Jason's trying to ruin, but we're not going to let him, are we, guys? No, we're just going to enjoy the fact that
stupid ads are ruining it.
All right, it was a real moment. Is exactly what you said originally was right.
Yeah,
it was a real moment. Like you don't get that with Kamala Harris. You know what I mean? Like because the thing about Trump is he was already a billionaire when he ran for office, so he kind of had it all. He had a good life. His kids had a good life. So, it was one of those things where if you read The Art of the Deal, Trump is always like, you've got to be willing to walk away from the table, walk away from the deal. And I think Trump could walk away from the presidency and still be a very happy person. Like his life could still be a very good life. So he goes to a Trump rally and he's not thinking, oh, I've got to make sure everything's perfect and I say everything the right way and I get the right amount of voters and blah, blah, blah. Trump's just like, you know what? Let's just have a little bit of fun here. Let's just talk. And he's more comfortable and he's at ease and he's not stressed out. And he can come up with stuff like that. Like, oh, you know who we should get out here is the girl who saved my life with that sign. And he knew that this girl probably wouldn't be comfortable. And like, what does she do? He says, oh, say hi to the people. So she goes up and she goes, hi. Like people who are not comfortable on.
But that's the best thing that she could say because it makes it more genuine. It's like she doesn't want to talk, but she says hi. It's
uncomfortable doing it.
It wasn't set up.
He's the boss. You know, it's funny. Actually, Sebastian Gorka still calls Trump the boss. I was supposed to go on Newsmax like yesterday or the day before. I think. What just happened? No, you're muted.
Had to blow my nose.
Oh, I see. Okay, that was like very jarring for me. I couldn't handle it. So I had to go on Newsmax, but I got pushed. I was supposed to be on Rob Schmidt tonight, and I got pushed. I got pushed out. In fact, like we didn't even do the show because Trump was like his rally. In fact, that rally took so long. They just played it on Newsmax, and so I didn't do the show. And Trump Seb texted me. He goes, oh, you got bumped out by the boss. He always refers to Trump as the boss. I love it. It's funny. But anyway, so she goes out there because the boss says, get her out here. So she comes out, but she clearly didn't want to do that. That was something that she was sort of reluctant to do it, but of course she had to do it. It was her duty as the, employee of Trump. But you know what? We all love her. Everybody there just loved that girl.
You know what would be funny? If she was a Democrat.
That would be funny because she is in tech, right? She is this kind of But if she was a Democrat, she's not a Democrat now. Like,
exactly.
I think Trump just turned her into a Republican instantly because so much love for that girl in that one little moment, and she seems sweet. She seems just like a nice person, it was a cute moment. So rare instance of like good news that we get to share with you on the show here, or at least I thought it was good news. Oh, MMA Fix jumped in again. He says, Chris, irrational. We got another definition here. He says, irrationally means, okay, I'm not doing that. I'm clipping the part out about the boxer and putting it on my channel. Thanks for not reporting me, bro. I will not copyright strike you. Let's see here. Okay, present. Share screen. Do we have another story? We may have done them all. Oh no, this is a good one. So, because I think people are like a little bit worried about Kamala Harris and the enthusiasm that she's created, right? By jumping in the race. Not necessarily because she's awesome, but because like, oh, thank God they don't have Biden in there anymore. So there is this kind of a little bit of enthusiasm, at least within the press, there's enthusiasm. But Kevin O'Leary jumps in and he says, you know what? I don't think this is actually happening. Let's go ahead and watch that.
When we syndicate debt for real estate projects, we don't care if you're Democrat or Republican. So I deal with a lot of investors, agnostic to politics, and some of them are very big contributors to the Democratic Party. I heard for the first time today, because we like to talk about politics, mostly on policy, and what he said to me was, some of us are having some buyer's remorse. We wish we'd run a process because we got so much press in the first 9 days of bringing somebody into the party and raised 200 million plus, which is like a balloon underwater. It just wasn't Biden, so they started contributing. But we gave up 5 weeks of fantastic social media in guessing who really should be the candidate. Now, I hadn't heard that before. It's not that many. I'd guess 20% or something like that. But so that's starting to crack a little bit. And there is precedence for what's going on here. I ask everybody to look north to Canada. When a young Justin Trudeau swept in, nobody cared about his executional skills or what he'd ever done or anything. They just thought he was the it guy. Look at the country now. It's wiped out. And because it turns out the guy had no executional skills. It would be important to leave aside the politics and ask, what has Kamala Harris actually done, actually achieved? Because if I was hiring her, and I'm not trying to be partisan, I would ask her, what was a goal? What did you achieve? Because any governor or any senator that would put into presidential viability would have a history, a track record of doing stuff.
What do you think she would say, Kevin, if you?
Well, so the point I wanted to bring up here, yeah, it was just that, yeah, Kamala, people who wanted Kamala in and who sort of like helped usher her in, they're now having this buyer's remorse. They're not excited anymore potentially about Kamala Harris being on the ticket. They want somebody else, or not necessarily they want somebody else, but these Democrats are like, oh, we probably shouldn't have just picked her so quickly. We should have had this process so that people would have had to sorry, I'm going through these stories because there was another one that was quite good. Yeah, go on.
No,
you talk while I look this thing up.
A process to go through the process to actually make it look like people are voting for the candidate, or choosing their candidate. And not just and then they just didn't pick somebody just because their color or if they're a woman,
Right. And this guy Nate Silver, he's like a political guy. He does all the verifying that you're human. This guy Nate Silver. So he's dismissing the hype around Kamala Harris. So the point I'm trying to make is just that I don't know if Kamala Harris really has as good of a chance as people think that she does. He says that Trump's still going to win probably. Right. And if you look at the betting averages, those show Trump to win. Right. I don't know what's going on with the polls. I don't know why the polls keep showing Kamala doing better.
Yeah. I sent you a text. I go, they're playing the poll game again. It's lies. Like what they did in 2016, like Hillary was overwhelmingly beating Trump everywhere, and they're doing it again. They're doing it again, and they're getting ready for the rig. But it's lies. It's lies. They're playing that game again. Right. Well,
so this guy writes, the liberal media is going all in on Kamala Harris, mirroring the efforts by Democrats to make it seem like there's tremendous excitement over the addition of Harris to the 2024 race. Liberal pollster Nate Silver is not buying it. He says that Trump remains the favorite in November. This is from the New York Post. And he says Trump remains the favorite in 2024 despite presidential race, despite Harris's rise. Nate Silver says even after Democrats dramatically blah, 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 blah. Let's see here. His election forecast model gives Trump a 61.3% chance of prevailing in the election in the Electoral College, while Vice President Kamala is at 38.1%. That's a pretty extreme divide there. And so it looks like, at least what the people who kind of study this stuff think is that Trump is definitely going to win. Let me look at the betting markets. Yeah. There's one called predictit.org, which I think is a pretty good one. That's the one I tend to check. Let's see here. And they have got Oh, they've actually got Kamala now winning. That's amazing. They've actually got Kamala now winning. That's new. I should have put that on there.
They got the memo.
They got the no. It's not about that. It's not about that because the betting markets are interesting. The betting markets are people betting money on who they think will win. So there are people who are buying the hype.
You don't think that there's people with a lot of money that could rig that?
There are.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a little bit more investigating on that. That is fascinating, though. I think that could actually be a problem for us.
Nah,
I'm the optimist.
That's people putting money into that are trying to rig it. That whole betting thing.
Jason,
maybe these rich people optimist. Just saying, "Hey, throw money into that."
I'm the optimist. You're the nihilist. Let's get our whole situation straight here. All right. But no, I'm going to look into it. I'm a little bit concerned about that. Let's see here. GI Jose jumps in. He says, rolling out all. So he's leaving. Barbecuing cane asada tonight. Oh, that sounds amazing, man. All right. You have a good one, brother. Thank you so much for joining the
cane
chat.
Asada carne asada. I think that's what he meant. Well, there's a misspell there.
Yeah. I didn't know what that meant. I was just kind of like didn't want to expose my ignorance there, so I just didn't say anything. All right, let's see here. Let's go ahead and share a screen. See, I think we have one more story. No, we're done. That's it. That's all of it. We're done. We did all the news that there is to do. There was a lot more news stories. We didn't get to them all, mainly because Jason dropped the ball today and didn't post a bunch of news stories, so I had to early into it. But fortunately, I had that interview with War Room, so that made it easier for me to get up early. But now I'm going to take a nap because I am tired. Anyway, we love you all. Fantastic. Thank you for watching the show. Yeah, unfortunately we don't really have a bombshell or any big revelation to. Oh, I like your shirt though. We could end on that.
Yeah.
Trust God. Government.
Yep.
100%, my friend. 100%. Jeez, yeah. Life is good, guys. Life is good. Appreciate it. Even though we are in stressful and scary times. All right, Steel Fang jumped in with one last super chat just before we exit the show. He's written, y'all have a great night. Never give up. Never surrender. Never give up. Never surrender. That's from Galaxy Quest.
I love that movie.
That's awesome. I'm going to watch that movie again. Just because
we need to bring back talking about movies. We used to do that in the beginning of this this podcast.
We do. You know what? I might actually force Gorka to watch Galaxy Quest for my
I love that movie.
Great Against show. I know it's because it's more of a modern movie. We've never done a modern movie, but I love Galaxy Quest. I might make him do it. He's gonna be mad at me, but I'm gonna do it.
It's so good though. It's like
he won't like it. He won't like it
because why wouldn't he like it? I mean, well, I guess I don't know.
If you're not a Star Trek fan, you probably I don't know. It might be more difficult. I liked Star Trek when I was growing up. I mean, it wasn't my favorite show, but it was one of those shows that I grew up with. So
yeah, I loved Star
Galaxy
Trek.
Quest was.
And they brought the two things together, the sci-fi like fans with like actual sci-fi thing, and they collided.
Yeah, and it was a good story. That's the crazy thing. It was actually like it was supposed to be like a satirical version of Star Trek, but it was actually a good story. Yeah. And actually, I think that I want to write a second movie, and I think I could because I have somebody who's connected to who's the actor that
Sigourney Weaver.
No, the main guy.
Oh, Tim. Yeah. Oh, how can I forget his name?
Tim Allen.
Last Man Standing show. I love that show that he had.
Yeah, I know a guy who worked on Last Man Standing. He could connect me, I think, with Tim Allen. I would love to do another. I think if they could do another Galaxy Quest. I mean, they need a really good script, but I could write that. I think so. I'm gonna get in contact with Tim Allen. I think we're gonna make that happen. Never give up.
Hey, as long as you get me as a PA, I'm good.
Never give up, never surrender. And remember, it's not that liberal friends are ignorant. It's just they know so much. That is not so. And trust God, not government. Good night.